Alright, so now we're ready to dive into loops. So the first loop we're going to go over is the for loop. And that allows us to iterate through a collection of data with an iterator. So that includes ranges, arrays, and collections. We didn't really talk about arrays and collections yet, but we did dabble into ranges a little bit when we went over it in the when statement examples. So we're going to use that in this example. So the for loop allows us to iterate through a collection of data one by one so that we can see what's inside, or we can manipulate it however way we want to. So to do an example real quick, what you have to do is write out for, open parentheses, and open brackets, just like most things that we use so far. Now within this parentheses for the for loop, we have to specify the collection that we're about to, or the collection, range, array that we're about to iterate through. So in this case, I want to have a variable called item that is within this range of data. So I'm going to make this 1 through 25. So what this is this is a single instance of an item within this range. All right, so this can be 1, this can be 2. As long as this is iterating, this is going to be an instance within this range, and this is going to make sense once I print it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print ln. I'm going to have a string, and this is going to be called index, and then I'm going to have a little colon, and then we're going to do a string template of item. So this is just going to be a range that I talked about before in the when statement example. These dot dots specify that I want a range of numbers between 1 and 25. So when I run this, this will print out a whole bunch of prompts, or a whole bunch of text. This has index, colon, and look at this. It takes item. Item is just an instance of each item in this range, or each number in this range. So at first it's 1 because the first instance in this range is 1, and then it continues to iterate. It prints this out, go back to the top, takes the next number in the range, goes here, print it out, and then it goes back and back. I keep going back and forth until you get to 25, and then it ends, because you're iterating throughout each one, and you're passing that value into this item array, and we can use that to print it out, or if you want to do some addition, or if you want to do anything, or later on when you do when we use arrays, you can use that value to retrieve a value in an array, which probably sound like gibberish right now. Or if you have some, background knowledge in arrays, you'll know that an array uses an index to retrieve a value. So this is going to be important for that type of stuff. So if you're using collections, arrays, or if you just want to iterate through, a range, this is going to be wonderful. And if you have used any other language, this is a very similar, or this pretty much is a for each loop. So to repeat again, we have item, and this is in the range of 1 through 25. This item is just going to take a single instance of a number in this range, and it's going to pass it to be used in this block of code. Now in this case, we have an item, and the first instance is going to be 1. You go back to the top, it's going to be 2, and it's going to keep iterating until it gets to the end of the range, which is 25. Interesting stuff.